Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to In the Streets with Big Stone. Today is a very special day, ladies and gentlemen, and we're here to kind of come to some facts as to what happened to Mark Ranger Latham on the day of December 17, 2015. Now, Mark took a bus from downtown Kingston to go towards crossroad areas because he said he had wanted to go to Western Union to take care of some business. This is what happened to Mark in his own word. Welcome to In the Street, Mark.
Hey, good, Big Stone.
How is everything with you?
I would have to say good.
You have to say good.
Okay.
Well, hopefully we can highlight the public as to what happened to you so that a situation like this does not occur in the future. And this program is also to inform you of your rights as a citizen of this country. Mark Latham, what happened to you on December 17, 2015?
Oh, good. Thanks for asking, Mr. Big Stone. What happened is, I got a call from my sister to another sister in the States. I sent some money from the house that she normally does, so in the holiday seasons, eh? So we decided to meet downtown. She's coming from Clarendon, I'm coming from St. Thomas. So we met downtown, and we decided to go to the crossroads Western Union because I think my downtown is a little crowded and it's Christmas, you could be robbed, people noticing you from Western Union. So it's best to go in that area where there's not that much people.
And you feel a little safer,
yeah, safer
collecting
and
your
right.
money.
So we thought Crossroads would have been better, you know, because way not into Crossroads proper itself, but above Crossroads there, at, you know, the state theater area.
Right there, Retirement Road and Africa.
Yeah, just in that vicinity. But it would have been better to transact business like this and, you know, less people to encounter.
Yes.
So we decided to go to Crossroads. Okay, so we boarded a bus. The best we could best get was a coastal bus. Huh? We took the bus from Orange Street downtown, and bus pretty much drive all the way up to Crossroads bus stop. The bus stop. And there's nothing unusual with that. The bus is a main bus stop. But what I do notice, female police officer. She's dressed in khaki uniform. She approached the driver of the bus. They spoke for a brief while. She came around to the passenger side of the bus, at the door, and she said to the passengers, "We're gonna have to disembark the bus because they're seizing the bus because of some irregularities." Those were exact words.
Irregularities with the bus?
Yes.
Okay.
And I later on learned that this irregularity, not maybe jumping the guns, but I later on learned that this irregularity had to do with that flashing light on the bus. So she was going to seize the bus for that reason, because you know, it's not
legal,
right, so to speak.
What happened then?
What happened then? I was stepping down, and in doing that, I realized people were being searched. Tons of police officers and transport authority, and I come to learn later on, inspector, we call it the examiner, examiner for the, you know, motor vehicle examiner, was on scene too. That's for the passenger bus. You know, this is Christmas, and it's a dragnet, so to speak. And I think they were targeting JUTC buses, mainly because it's Christmas and they want JUTC buses to get the passengers more than the coastal buses. That's an ongoing issue with bus and police and transport authority.
Right.
You know, in favor of the JUTC. You know, that's their politics. Let me just leave that alone. I'm concerned with me and my justice and my rights. That's what I'm concerned with. So I realized people were being searched as they were getting off. So I getting off, and I realized she was standing at the door, and I said to her, "This is an illegal search. What is your name and your number?" She didn't respond to me. I repeated it. "It's an illegal search. What is your name and your number?" She didn't respond again. So by the third time, I realized she wasn't really talking to me. So I had to do a clear message that, "Hey, get out of my face." You know. So I walked away. She's fine. She said nothing at all to this minute. Right? So while I was walking away now, another policeman now, armed with a rifle, iPod rifle, demanded we return. And he kept bracing himself that if you didn't turn, I would use this.
So he said so?
No, didn't.
Or he demonstrated his body language, demonstrated that?
He rocking back, held it down, and rocked himself back as though I will raise it. And so as not to, we're talking about Jamaican police, right? We know what they are capable of. In fact, making this video is a threat, as we know what happened to the Kentucky kid. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, but let's get to your case, because we want the fans out there to understand exactly what happened to you.
Right.
So if you keep going back and forth to other cases, we're going to be lost.
Right, sure. Thanks very much, Mr. Bigstone. Right, thanks for that. Now, so I returned and I went to him And I said to him directly, this is an illegal search. What is your name and your number? He had a blue denim, full blue, shirt and pants, full blue, no number displayed. And I wanted to know what his number was because I intend on making a report of an illegal search. Now, I believe you asked me earlier, why would I do this? And my response to you then was, it's happened repeatedly, time and time again. I've had 2 other cases where I was violently shaken in one incident for us pointing out that the search was illegal. And in another case, I was placed in a vehicle, which but the problem is that the 17th of December 2015, so after speaking to her and she didn't pay me no mind, I walked off. So this other officer, dressed in full blue with a high-powered rifle, demanded we return. So I returned and I went to him and I asked him, what is your name and your number? This is an illegal search. What is your name and your number? And he was still gesticulating that he could well use the firearm. And I think in a moment of panic, I realized my sister unpacking what she had in her bag. And I turned to her, I said, and she was taking things. So I put it back in the bag. It was a foil wrapper, by the way. I put it back into the bag. I said, let them into the bag themselves. Do not help them in what's illegal. By this time, the female khaki-clad officer, superintendent, I later on learned, she said, "Videographer, come over here." And a videographer came. So I stood up from where I was and I said, firstly, this is an illegal search. I asked that man over there for his carrying the big gun, what his name and his number, and he didn't answer. And I asked her for her name and her number. She's now standing diagonally behind me, to my left. And I asked her for her name and her number. And she hasn't answered me up to this point. Then I heard her say, "You assault me, arrest this man." I was promptly grabbed onto and taken around the corner to the Crossroads station where I was arrested
and charged
with
for
assault. Yeah.
Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, you have just heard from Mark Latham, Ranger. Let me give you the police report. Now I'm not going to call the name of the superintendent of police because this is alleged. I don't even know if these documents are the exact court documents, so I have to protect myself and also the integrity of the gentleman as well. I'm just going to read to you from supposedly or allegedly what is the police report on this case. It started off with the person giving their name, Mrs. So-and-so and so, and address, December 31st, 2015, occupation, Senior Superintendent of Police. There's also a telephone number that is crossed out, and it states, on Thursday, December 17, 2015, I led a Metropolitan Public Order Enforcement operation at the Crossroad bus terminus along with 35 other persons from different entities. About 11:30 a.m., I received information that a man armed with a gun boarded a green coaster bus with flashing lights along Slipe Road headed towards Crossroads. Shortly after the bus was seen approaching the bus terminus at Crossroads, I signaled the driver to stop, and he did. I explained to the driver and the passengers that I received certain information based on which a search will be carried out of persons and bags. There were about 40 persons on board. While the passengers and bags were being searched, a female with a black bag on wheels was informed by a member of the police team that the bag will be searched. Subsequently, a man beside her shouted, "Don't open the bag." The woman insisted to open and remove items from the bag and stated, "I has no problem with the police doing their work." The man, in a loud and aggressive tone of voice, said, "Let the police put them hand in the bag and let me sue them." He continued to say, he needs the name and number because this could not take place in the United States of America. And where is the warrant? At this stage, I felt someone push me on my left shoulder. When I turned around, I realized it was the man that was behaving aggressively. I said, "Sir, you have assaulted me." He looked at me without responding. I subsequently went to the Crossroad police station and made a report. I will be able to recognize this man if seen again. It is signed by the Superintendent of Police and it's dated the 31st of December 2015. 15. It further went on to state that this statement, consisting of one page, signed by me, is true to the best of my knowledge and belief, and I make it known that if it is tendered in evidence, I shall be liable to prosecution if I have willfully stated in it anything that I know to be false or do not believe to be true. I'm asking you now, Mark Latham, what she said, this senior superintendent of police, what she said in the statement, is she correct about what happened?
Some of it is true. Some of it is clear true. However, the idea of pushing her shoulder is a blatant lie.
All right, let me ask you a question. When she explained to the driver and the passenger that she have received certain information based on which a search will be carried out, were you aware of that?
No.
Did she tell you there was a man that came on board the bus and there possibly might be a gun on board?
Not at all.
Nothing like that was explained to you?
But if I may, this may come a little too soon, but subsequently to that, I found the driver of the bus. And his account has nothing to do with what she says.
Okay.
Okay.
So what happened then? You went to the Crossroad police station, you was placed into custody, and you was released on $25,000 bail.
Yeah.
How did you get to the driver?
Oh, well, some days after, prior to, let me see, it could be February thereabout in the following year, 2016 now, when the case had already been heard. And I realized, we need some witnesses. I went in search of the driver of the bus. I'll keep asking other drivers, and strangely, one early morning I went up there and he called me, the driver of the bus called me.
Same driver that was, yes.
And told I'm looking for this driver. He says, I'm that driver, I'm the man. And wow, what a wicked woman, Anyhow, turns out he didn't come to court.
Why didn't he come to court?
Well,
did you ask him to?
Yes, I did ask him.
As a witness on your behalf?
Precisely.
And he didn't want to be a part of it, or what?
He would, he
or
said.
He promised that he would?
He promised he would initially. Then he then say he's a Christian now and he doesn't want to get mixed up with the court system. Because it's a cruel system, so he doesn't want to be mixed up with it. However, I did find him, the last court date, on the 10th of April, I did find him I went, visited him on the 9th and pleaded with him, and he did tell me that if he's called, he will attend.
Which means subpoenaed to court.
Right.
Was a subpoena made out for him to appear in court?
Oh, thank you very much. I did inform the court that this witness
is ready and able to come and be a witness in your behalf.
Yes, in November of 2016, I told the court, somewhere there about there, November or it was in January, I told the court that the driver is a witness, but says he has to work, therefore he could not attend. I'm looking for a subpoena. The clerk turned to me and she says, and that's interesting, This clerk turned to me and says, it's not my witness, it's your witness.
Okay, so it's the proof is on you, the burden is on you to present this witness to court.
Right.
And well, I don't know the law that much, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't know how you proceed in something like that. If a witness doesn't really want to show up based on you asking that witness to come to court, if the court can actually subpoena that witness to come to court. So I'm not too averse on that. So where are we now? This is the year 2017. What has become of this case thus far?
Well, my contention, and reason for doing this video actually, is I was convicted on the 10th of April.
You was?
Yes.
For the assault?
For assault and contempt, and not assault plus...
assault and what?
Obstruction. Now, it's a new introduction. This is perhaps the trick now. There's some, well, I should say, judicial corruption is now taking place in the case now. And it started from January 18th, 2016 now, they started introducing corruption into the case. But this, to answer that specific question, the question came up now about the
question came up about what? The camera?
Well, that
what
was...
about the recording? Because you mentioned that she called a videographer over to videotape how you were behaving and how the police acted and so on and so forth.
Right.
Was that recording admissible in court?
It became admissible from my understanding, not a lawyer, of course.
Did the judge ask you for that recording?
We told the court, my attorney then
told the court
of a available recording that the police did ordered so far, and the
Mhm.
judge ordered it admissible on the 20th to be part of the full. My lawyer requested full disclosure, including the video. The clerk of the court then said there's no video. My attorney then told the court that we have a witness to come forward who will verify that there was a recording. At that point, the judge ordered it entered into evidence. Till this very day, the case is completed and there's no video evidence.
Right.
In my understanding, first of all, I'm not a lawyer, again, but in my understanding, they cannot convict you that this conviction has been an illegal thing, unconstitutionally so, because you are convicted when there's evidence to the contrary. So, and you'll see that later on in another document in there from the public defender that suggests
all right.
that
In
it
this
should be
document that the superintendent, there's no mention of any recording be done in this document, right? What other documents you want me to look at? Hold on to that.
well, yes, there's another document here
Hold on to
is
that.
from
the public defender.
Public defender. You might have to
Okay.
do this.
All right. Let me read, ladies and gentlemen, what the public defender had to say in regard to this case. It says, Office of the Public Defender, and there's a reference number. It's dated March 7, 2017, and it says Mr. Mark Ranger Latham, Mark Bay P.O. St. Thomas. It says, Dear Mr. Latham Ranger, read your matter. It didn't state what matter it was. It said, I write to confirm that on Tuesday, January 2017, you attended at the Office of the Public Defender and spoke with a Mr. Lloyd Williams. In my telephone conversation with you, when I called you, I gathered that you were charged and attending before the Petty Session Court. It is my understanding from that conversation and from notes taken by Mr. Lloyd Williams that your concerns relate to a video recording of the incident, out of which the charge against you arose. An order made by the court for the production of the said video and the failure of the police to comply with the order. It is in this context that you allege that your right of appeal to Jamaica's highest appellate court is being usurped by the court, amongst other allegations impugning the administration of justice in all respect. The Public Defender Interim Act 2000 specifically precludes me from engaging in court proceedings. I'm also not allowed to intervene in any court proceedings for obvious reasons. Where, however, the court has ordered the production and disclosure of a video recording and it is not forthcoming, there is no adverse decision against you and a right of appeal does not arise. The right of appeal to the JCPC is distinctly not yet available to you as local appeals have not been exhausted. It seems where a video recording could vindicate your account and the police have refused to produce it, the lay magistrate may well have a duty to strike out the case against you. Of course, the above is premised on the scanty information provided by you so far. You may wish to consider providing the Office of the Public Defender with a full report, better enabling us to assist you. Yours faithfully, Arlene Harrison Henry, Public Defender. All right, so where are we now that the Public Defender came out with this? Hold on.
Okay. Good. Well, where we are, I just want to correct something.
Yes. Go ahead.
It's a part truth or statement here.
Yeah.
About the appeal to the Privy Council is a reference to here the final appellate court, that Jamaica's highest.
Yes.
It's a part statement. It's a part truth, really.
So you did not. So you have not made any appeal to the
I
appellate court?
contacted the Privy Council, in fact.
Okay.
And on the 14th of November 2016, there's a court date. On the 13th, I wrote to the Privy Council about what was the incidents that were happening in this event. And the Privy Council wrote back to me saying they were needing the judge's order, which is what led to the public defender. Right?
Okay.
It's not just the video only. There are several incidents that's occurring, irregularities, what you might call unconstitutional issues in this case. So this is what led me to the public defender. In fact, I physically went to the public defender, as mentioned in here, and spoke to that investigating officer, Mr. Williams, as mentioned in here. He sent me advised me to write to the Chief Justice of the Supreme
Okay.
Court,
Mm-hmm.
which I did. Interestingly, in doing so, I wasn't getting a response,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I thought a week was enough
Mhm.
for a response, because
Okay.
I sent an email in and I physically delivered a hard copy.
A hard
as well,
copy, right.
So
Mhm.
tricking, you have to be prepared for the tricks.
Right.
Because a lot of tricks are happening.
Right.
And these are who is involved,
Mm-hmm.
because this senior superintendent is now an assistant commissioner of the police.
Okay.
Okay?
Mhm.
And I think that's made a basis for a lot of the corruption that's involved there.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say there is corruption?
Okay.
What makes you come to that? Because before we went on camera, you were telling me that there are a number of instances where the police acted inappropriately in terms of search, sieges, and so on. Can you elaborate on that a little bit? For
Yeah,
us?
sure. Yes. Yeah, right. As I pointed out, I've had incidents where I'm traveling on a bus. I live in St. Thomas, so I come to town on a frequent basis.
Okay.
Come to Kingston, and twice in going back, they would stop the bus. One occasion in Dallas, I was violently shaken, physically shaken, because I told the office, the policeman, I think it was a BC, and supported by other regular police,
You told him what?
told him that the search was illegal.
Okay.
And I was physically shaken, violently shaken. And the problem is I lost his regulation number. I recorded it and lost it.
Okay. So you couldn't pursue
So
that
I can't
matter.
pursue that matter. There's another case where we were stopped in Rockford.
Mhm.
And I was traveling on a yellow bus, but I'm on my way to Warrant Bay. The Warrant Bay bus had stopped prior when the police stopped us.
Mhm.
So I realized the Warrant Bay bus is, so I was trying to hurry get off the bus to catch the Warrant Bay bus. When I was yelled, "Where are you going?" I said, "Oh, the Warrant Bay bus is leaving."
Mhm.
And he said, "Well, you have to search." I said, "No." I said, "But I believe in warrants." "You believe in warrants? Go on a bus there." So I was placed in a police bus. I consider that false arrest because it's a police vehicle. I don't know if it is, but in my back of my mind, I consider it to be a false arrest.
Mhm.
Okay? And the commanding officer and told them to let me go, and the others were, "We'll let him go for, we'll let him go for." These are people, Jamaican police with long guns, protesting my release.
After being ordered by a senior officer.
Right, the one who had instructed me to go in the bus. Then, and they were talking to me, "You're intelligent man, we have them law in Jamaica." I said, "No, Jamaica run by law, you have to abide the law." This whole society is run. Without a society, without laws, we are in chaos. Right? So it's the law that I'm really defending here. The right to my civil and constitutional rights. So this is why I tell them the search is illegal. Okay? Now, and to address this issue, you just read from the public defender. Yes, she's right. The Privy Council, from my reading the practice directives of the Privy Council, it says you must exhaust the appeal process locally.
Okay, and that has not been done.
That has not been done. However, there's a caveat here. However, if your case involves, and this is for the public to know too, if your case involves grave violation of natural justice, these unusual things that shouldn't be happening are happening in your case, then you can go to skip all those processes and go directly to the Privy Council, which is what my attempt has been to do, and they've been trying to block this. Another violation against another constitutional right that's being violated. You got a right to appeal if they're doing, but you got to go to the local processes.
So let me ask you a question, Mr. Latham. Sure. Does this strengthen your case further owing to the fact that you have been convicted of this particular
Oh yes, I think so, yes. Issues in the statements here from the police is conflicting, because you notice it's dated the 31st of December. There's a further one that she gave at the statement that she signed there and then.
Is this here in this
And that's
document?
not it. And that's not it.
It's not a part
That's
of
not
it.
it. I got this, by the way, and if we go to secret, I got this later on late. Only the police statement is what they
All right, in all fairness to our audience, I have to read this. This is the statement of the arresting officer. Don't call his name, but is this the arresting officer's name?
this is one at the station, yeah.
So he was the one that
Station.
placed you into custody?
This one held on to me was this one here.
Okay,
Held on and took me to the station.
okay.
With her singing.
So I'm gonna read both of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna read the police officer that actually inflicted the arrest on Mr. Latham, what he had to say. Of course, his name is there, his rank as a constable. I cannot say his regulation number. The station at the Crossroad Police, I can say that much. He said, this statement consisted of one page, signed by me, is true to the best of my knowledge and belief, and I make it known that if it is tendered in evidence, I shall be liable to prosecution. If I have willfully stated in it anything which I know to be false or do not believe to be true. And his signature is there. It states, on Thursday, December 17, 2015, I was detailed for mobile patrol duties from 8 o'clock to 6 p.m. in the Crossroad Police. About 10 o'clock, a team led by Senior Superintendent of Police, and the name is there, was conducting a metropolitan public order enforcement operation in the vicinity of the Crossroad bus terminal, along with a contingent of police and enforcement officers from various entities. About 11:30 a.m., the team got information that a man suspected of carrying a firearm was on board a Toyota IS bus traveling towards Crossroads on Slipe Road. The bus was seen and stopped, and the driver and passenger were informed that the occupants, their belongings, and the bus would be searched. During the search, I was standing by the bus door, searching the passenger and their belongings, when I heard a loud outburst from a male passenger who began shouting at a woman, "Don't open the bag," and he repeated it several times. The woman disobeyed his command and told him to calm down, "I have nothing to hide," and continued removing items from the bag. She also said, "I have no problem with the police doing their work." This man got infuriated and he began shouting, "Police have no right to search anybody without a search warrant. Let the police put their hands in the bag and I will sue them." During his ranting, he walked over to a senior superintendent, and the name is there, where he confronted her saying this couldn't happen in the United States. While doing so, he poked her on the shoulder, causing her to step back. Senior Superintendent so and so and so then said, "Sir, you have assaulted me." I then stepped between them and restrained the man. I then informed him of the charge of assaulting a police officer, escorted him to the Crossroad police station, where he was arrested and charged for assaulting and obstructing police. He identified himself as Mark Ranger Latham, 48 years old, date of birth 26/5/67, businessman of a Somerset district in St. Thomas. That's what the arresting police officer had to say. Now, this is the police officer that is on station guard.
But could I address that one?
Yes, please,
Yeah.
please do.
Strangely,
Mhm.
that he should mention in it that I was arrested for obstruction. I was not arrested on that date for obstruction. Here's the release I left out with. And it has nothing to do with obstruction.
Okay, so this is
So
really.
that's not a violation of person's rights.
Okay, so what you're saying, this is the actual notice
Yes.
of recognition.
Right.
And it read in the corporate area RM court for the parish of St. Andrew, take notice that you, Mark Ranger Latham, of Somerset District, St. Thomas, are bound in the sum of 25,000, and Upton Ranger, your sureties, of 25 Bayview Crescent, Bull Bay, St. Thomas, in the sum of, Bull Bay, St. Andrew, in the sum of $25,000, to appear at the court of the parish of St. Andrew, to be owned in an halfway tree on the 18th day of January, 2016. No next at every time and place to which a proceeding may from time to time be adjourned unless you personally make your appearance accordingly. The recognitions into by yourself and surety will be forfeited, and the amount there to levied on you, goods and chattels, and in defaults of sufficient goods and chattels, that you and each of you may be imprisoned for such period as the court may think, just not exceeding 6 months. But there's no mention here of any charges, period.
Oh,
This is just
that's a trick.
So why isn't a notice of recognition is just what? This is just showing you that.
I was released.
Okay, but on the top of it, it says assaulting the police.
Right. You see? So there's nothing here about obstruction.
Okay.
I learned of the obstruction on the 18th of
When you got to
January
court.
on court.
Okay.
These are false charges. Now, and there are other things in here
Mm-hmm.
that's conflict the original statement that this is another, second version. This is another illegal thing again.
Mm-hmm.
The first statement,
Why you say this one is illegal is
Because-
because this is now the police officer that was at the station, working as a station
No.
officer, isn't it?
No, not that one.
You have the other one.
Okay,
over
the other one over here? Yes, this is this one here that got me in, right?
there. Yeah. And this is the one actually acting as a station officer,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You want me to read
No,
what he has to
this
say?
one the one brought me in, yeah, this one that brought me in.
Oh,
That's what it's all about,
this
yeah.
one I just read.
Yes.
Okay.
He now is claiming some errors in here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this is dated
The 28th of the 12th.
28th of the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I didn't see him give a statement, but certainly for the complainant,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she had done a statement right there and then where she said she pushed and she stepped back. Now, why aren't they delivering the video?
Okay. Okay. So
Okay.
so what is your next move? The case has been finished with so
Yes.
far. In regards, you was convicted. Were you ordered to pay a fine?
Yes, yes. I was it was a fine of $2,000 for assault
Mhm.
or 10 days, and another $2,000 for obstruction or 10 days.
So you paid those
Yeah,
fines?
that's been paid, and I've been out in a couple of perhaps less than a hour, but it felt like a year in there.
Okay.
And this place stunk.
So now you're now suing the Jamaica Constabulary Force? Or
No,
what
I
are your
can't sue at the
plans?
moment. I was convicted, so
Okay.
they're in the right. The plans are to appeal.
Okay, so you have to appeal the case
Right,
first.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I think we have tons of evidence here on which to remove this charge here
Mhm. Mhm.
in front of the Privy Council.
So what are your feelings about the Jamaican Constabulary Force,
Oh,
the
wow.
police, and from your perspective, because you seem to be having a rough time with the police from time to time.
Yeah.
How you feel about the police? What are your thoughts about the police?
The police are necessary in the society. No society can go on without people to uphold the laws.
Mhm.
However, I have a problem when the people who are to uphold the law are the ones breaking the laws.
Okay.
Particularly your constitutional right. They have no way of getting out of it.
Mhm, mhm.
I've been to school. I learned what a constitution is.
Mhm.
Constitution is something that binds agents of the state.
Mhm.
They are not operating as though they are
Okay.
bound by
Mhm.
these laws. They think they're above the law.
Mhm.
That is what causes my issue with them.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
my grandfather, Hugh Latham, was an officer in the Jamaica Constabulary. Mr. Ranger was likewise. Notice two grandfathers,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Interesting. We can't get into that one here right now.
Yeah.
But they were both officers in the Jamaica Constabulary.
Mhm.
In days when it was British rule, the
Mhm.
country was British rule. They were high-ranking officers. You should know who those are. They would never have those positions. We have a reverse of that situation where the people who couldn't even join the force have no ones in there, and they are making a muck of the society. And that's where I'm having a contention with these people.
Okay.
But go back to where I go from here. Sorry, you may have you're asking.
No, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Where do you go from here?
Yeah, it's the Privy Council that we're heading to.
Okay, so you're going to appeal this case?
Yes, so we're appealing this
Hold on to
to
this.
the
So you're going to appeal the case, and then depending on the outcome of the appeal, you possibly will end up with a lawsuit.
Yes, possibly. Because I lost income.
Okay.
The superintendent is now assistant commissioner of police. That's a promotion for her.
Mm.
I have contract in a UK company, Interglobal, that was recently acquired by Aetna. And they sent me new forms. They are removing me because I live in Jamaica. I'll be placed in the Latin American, the Caribbean group. I'm getting a higher commission. 15% added.
Mm.
That's
And
an
you
opportunity.
lose all
I
that
lost
because
all
of
that
the case.
because, right, because they sent a form over to say, what have you been, something very, it's so vaguely worded that I showed it to the attorney at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He says he's never seen it written like this. And I just left it at that. And that commission is lost. Approximately, I would imagine, based on what I was angling, you have given me about 7,000 US dollars
Wow.
in commission. Similar situation happened again in August. Which is I get this every year. I get some money from Interglobal. Whether or not I leave a pin or sign a paper or not, I have money coming from Interglobal.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Aetna is taking over Interglobal, they realize there's some money for me there.
Mm-hmm.
And the European arm that's taking over from the UK right now, they've sent me now new forms too. I'm losing 5% if I remain with the European team, as a part of the European team.
So what that has, your incarceration, your court case, what that has to do with your workforce?
Oh well,
Explain that.
for some people, you gotta have very high integrity to work with in some areas.
Okay,
It's-
so you're saying then your integrity was the word I'm trying. Your integrity was, your character was defamed.
right,
And,
by such a charge.
Right, by such a charge. Okay.
Right. And I've lost income. Not only am I defamed by it, I've lost income twice. This is another case that could have given me well over 7,000 US dollars again. So I'm looking at 14.
So you're saying that to
lost.
say what now? Would you like to say now to the Jamaican people
Oh.
about what happened to you, and we take it?
Yeah, we are citizens of a country that is governed by a set of laws, and a constitution is there that guides the operation of the state. that is known in any democratic society. They have laws that the state must respect. And we're finding that the state, and particularly the police and the court, as I've been pointing out here, are not recognizing these constitutional rights. And this is what gives my case strength before the Privy Council.
Okay.
And this is what they're afraid of, because I must tell you, if I might, and for my protection too, because everybody know that if you go up against the police, then you might lose your life or some other further imprisonment. I was warned of such. In a cell, in an holding cell's place, I was warned of such.
By who?
By someone that's in the cell.
Or another prisoner?
Well, yes, let's say that.
Yeah, but if you're in a cell
Yeah,
and there's somebody that's in the cell, it's not the police in the cell, it can be...
Across the aisle, there's another cell that there were more people in, and they kept putting more people in and ignoring us two in here. So I think that is a message being sent to me.
So what you're saying, you're strategically placed
right.
in this particular cell for you to be told that...
Not to go any further with it.
Not to go any further with it.
I'm too stubborn, and that's my problem. I'm too stubborn, and I'm lucky because I could have been killed, or I don't want to go further down that cell. That's in another. I could earn another charge. Something. In fact, another gentleman, an old gentleman that thinks he's quack and goes around thinking he works for the police or the government, says to me, "They don't know what to do with you. You're not a Batman and you're not a womanizer. So they don't know. You know what that means in Jamaica. They could have set you up already, but they don't know how to go about it."
Okay. So you're saying now, on camera, that possibly your life might be in danger based on this case. Is that what you're saying?
That is a strong possibility. Coming from that suggestion, it's been done. Someone in St. Thomas, in the early stages of the state, came to me and suggested, the same gentleman who told me that they don't know what to do with me. This gentleman, should I mention the name?
No, you can't.
Okay. The gentleman I know very well, because in the office I had in Warrant Bay, he had another student next door there. And he came to me and suggested that I go find the policewoman, work something out with her, and this is the message that he got to give me. To go work out something with her, or the Warrant Bay police are gonna F me up.
Okay.
And my response with him was following expletives. Well, that was enough. Another friend of mine came with another message. The message was, what would you accept for the charges to be dropped?
What charges to be dropped? Because if you're going to appeal, there's no charge laid against the police. So what do you mean, what charges?
No, I was the one with the charge.
Yes, so what do you mean for the charges?
If I would accept whatever they can afford, if I made an offer, or I would accept something, kind or cash or whatever.
No, but they're the one who charge you for assault, so how if you pay? I don't understand.
No, not me paying. If I would accept, what would I accept?
I mean, they want to offer you money?
Right.
To do what?
For them to drop the charges.
I don't understand. If they're the one who charge you, right? You're not the one that is filing charges against them. They want to offer you money for them to drop the charges?
That's what I was told. What will you accept?
I don't understand that.
That's
kind of
right. It's kind of interesting, eh?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I'm just here as a victim ambassador. Is there anything else you want to point out?
The Indicom letter.
What did Indicom have to say to this?
Well, when I paid the first lawyer paid him the $50,000, he said he would have taken the matter to the Indicom and the office of the inspectorate. Well, this is the payment to the lawyer. That's the first.
This is the lawyer's payment.
Right.
Let me see the Indicom letter.
The Indicom, no, an email was sent to Indicom. Look at this is a letter from the Chief Justice.
Okay.
This is another letter. I wrote requesting the file.
Okay, these are just all letters requesting files.
Right, and that's been denied. See, it's stamped. And there's another one I sent in that they signed it.
So there's no documentation from Indicom?
No,
other than your email that you've sent?
Right, I sent Indicom this email, and they... But matter of fact, I went to Indicom directly, sorry.
Yeah.
I went to Indicom directly. What happened at Indicom, matter of fact, it was the Minister of Justice who suggested I go to Indicom when I asked him what the hell was happening in the courts, based on the behavior of the courts. And he felt that his exact words were, this sounds like malice. Go to Indicom to investigate illegal searches. I went to Indicom. And I'm not to mention names here, right?
No.
The interviewing officer wrote my name in a ledger and read a line under my name. And I observed that this wasn't only my name that was done. The entire book was named.
Where do you think a line was written?
Case done.
Oh, okay.
Case done. And his exact instruction to me was, go to Mocha to investigate the collusion between the clerks and the police. Mocha should investigate that. So I thought something was wrong, something that's right here. So I went back, called the office to speak with the commissioner of Indicom, and his secretary told me to put it in an email. I then got a reply saying certain persons from Indicom will contact me, and that is August.
And
You can see,
up to
and the date Indicom has not responded.
Okay. Well, I think you definitely have a case here to appeal. That's just my personal opinion, and let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. I
I'm
hope
curious.
I live it out.
I'm curious enough to know what has become of this case, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, we're always in the streets trying to make sure that justice is served. And at the same time, we're not here taking side one way or the other, because I was not presented on the morning of December 17, 2015, when this alleged incident happened with Mr. Mark Latham. So, Mark, I want to thank you very much, man.
My pleasure, Mr.
You have my concerns, my prayers go with you.
Yes.
I think based on how you express yourself that you're a hard-working Jamaican, and I believe personally that if there was any injustice, if the police operated inappropriately, I think that justice should be served.
Could I just jump
Yeah,
in?
man, interview.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
quick, this is important, right?
Mhm.
I think when the case ended, I was taken to the holding area. And I realized I didn't have my jacket that I went in and so forth, and my cap was left. I went back on Tuesday morning to get it, to retrieve my clothing, right? Items that were left. And I saw the clerk in the court, and I said to her, is Constable
So and
so arrested yet for perjury? And she went into a fit.
Like you shouldn't have acted.
No, like she was a bulldog or something, like a Rottweiler. She started yelling, you know? And these are issues, you know? So we're looking at charges that should be laid by the police right now. We should see arrests for suppression of evidence. We have not seen that. Contempt for the 21st of February. That has not yet been done. And we know that there is indeed, because this...
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Ranger Latham. I've told you everything that you possibly need to know about his case, his encounter with members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force on December 17, 2015. Now, we cannot say further because the charges are being appealed. Even Mark was convicted of the charges of assault and obstructing the police officer, and these charges are being appealed. So we further await the outcome of these court proceedings, and then we'll invite Mark Ranger Latham again back to In the Streets so we can further discuss the outcome of the case. Mark, thank you very much for stopping by, man.
My pleasure, man.
I wish you all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you.
And I can only say to our fellow Jamaicans that if you think you're being treated unfairly by members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, there are avenues that you can take your grievances on. There are members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force that are open, where you can go in and you can lodge your complaints, and there are other private entities that are open and available to you where you can lodge your complaint. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.